citizenry of this whole country would consider either a silent revolution or peaceful revolution, or do you think that it is going to get that bad that we will have another revolution? I'm really concerned. And
Which person do you direct that to? Bob? Okay.
Politician answer.
Here you go, buddy. Get your birthdays.
Okay.
Now join the
I
militia.
gotta take a second to think about this. No.
Go, Brady.
I think that really quick, a little bit more concisely, could you just real quick rephrase your question? A little bit more concisely.
Politician.
do you think it's going to get bad enough because of the people that are in our Congress that we may have to have a revolution?
I absolutely do not think that we are there right now. But I do think that Thomas Jefferson was right when he said the natural progress of things is for liberty to yield and for government to gain ground. And so if that natural progress continues along that natural course, then ultimately history will repeat itself, just like it has in other regions and other countries around the world. I'm just saying that because that's just a fact of history. As far as in America, is it possible that someday America might repeat make the same errors in judgment that other countries may? Absolutely. Because, I mean, we're all fallen creatures. Nobody's perfect. If men were angels, or what was the quote? Somebody else knows this, not me.
If
If men were angels, there would be no need for government. But there is a need for government because men are not angels, and since we have men in government, our government is obviously not full of angels. So it's very possible that one of these days that could possibly happen. I don't think it will happen in my lifetime. I hope that it doesn't. But to answer your question, it could happen. Of course it could happen. To say that it wouldn't would be an error in my judgment and a lack of me to acknowledge history.
Can I ask one thing to it?
Let's let Sandra go. We're gonna open it up to the audience too. Okay, Sandra?
I only have a couple of questions.
Well, tell us who you are, what group you're with, and give us a question so other people can have a chance.
Okay, I'm Sandra Davidson. I'm with the Sullivan 912 group, and I do raise a few problems every now and then, or questions, I should say. Some questions I have. First of all, is the Fifth Amendment law? Is Article 5? Is Article 5?
Yes.
Is it law?
Yes.
And the first part of that statement, Tim, what does it say? If there should be 2/3 call for a convention,
Whenever 2/3 of both houses shall deem it necessary, shall propose amendments, or on the application of the legislatures of 2/3 of the several states.
and the key word is shall,
Shall.
and that means it shall, it has no choice. Okay, in the last 200 years, there is documentation of 750 applications for a call for a convention. Okay, 750. Out of the time that Congress has been, I was just supposed to ask a question. Okay. My question is, if it is law, and if there has been the 2/3 call by the states of 750 applications, why hasn't Congress obeyed the law? Why are we telling the states, because this is the law for the states to protect their sovereignty, why are we telling the states not to obey the law when Congress is not obeying the law? Why are we telling you not to do your job?
Okay, Dave?
I think Dave will correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's because never have 2/3 of the states agreed on any one subject.
They don't have to.
Yes. So, yes, that's a correct answer. I think that the text of and this is just kind of a bare reading of the text of the article. I think that Congress should have called for a convention some time ago. I don't think that the text of Article 5 makes a distinction and says, well, all the calls have to be on this specific issue. However, that is how Congress has chosen to treat it. So the question is that legitimate? I believe courts have said it is legitimate. So for our purposes, a call will not be triggered until you have 2/3 of the states asking for a convention that will consider the same question.
We've met it twice.
Well, I haven't done the research on that, so, but I think that that is potentially just another demonstration of part of the challenge that we face with, you know, a government unresponsive to the document that is supposed to give it its authority.